ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Imperator Rome Invictus Sogdia. And as you can see, Sogdia has grown large. Very large now. Although it may look like it on the map that it would eclipse the size of some of the big empires. But in actuality, it's just a whole lot of open land and mountains and all that. That isn't too remarkable, as we control 143 territories, as we are a major power now. So now we are a serious force to be reckoned with. Back then we used to reside in just the mountains up north, right next to the open steppes of Eurasia. But now we're coming back home, because our king, Semtish, which he was born in 422, so it is 627 BCE. So he's 65 years old. So you could say, judging from, from that time of 422, and the game starts in 403 BCE, 304 BC, excuse me, 304 BC. 19 years after the death of Alexander the Great, and he began his rule at 21 years old. So meaning it's possible that he was young, and he's too young to remember what happened when Alexander came to Bactriana and Sogdiana and conquered those lands. Even during the Bactro-Sogdian revolt that was led by Spitaminis, and we know how all that turned out for him. All that. But now, many years later, he's on again. It is 267, and he's 65 years old. So it's, again, 487 is the current year. Well, 422, as it says on that other calendar. So as I said, he's too young to remember the events of Sogdiana Proper, but I'm sure his parents, who has since passed and unknown to us, would have remembered it. They would remember the plight of the Sogdians that fled north beyond the Jaxates, also known as the Sogdia River. But now we're coming back home to Samarqand. Take that off and switch to remember. Oh yeah, one of the mods that I use, I keep forgetting this other thing, which is, what is it called again? Let me bring it up. Again, we'll get to all the missions and be more economic focused, and manpower recovery and all those things. One of the other mods has Skybox Enhanced Terrain View. Let me hold right click and you can see all this. Fancy, isn't it? Beautiful land of Sogdiana. And it was said long ago that Sogdiana is the second best land that Ahura Mazda created. That came from the Avesta, I believe, or the Venedict, I forget which. But mind you, we're not Zoroastrians. We are a ritualistic faith, which we are basically, the old faith, old school. Which, as a reminder, it represents the localized faithful religions. Ritualism spouses ancestor worship, animism, and votive offerings. That fort maintenance thing is a bit of an issue. So we control mostly of the lands of, modern day, well, not modern, but in later medieval Sogdian areas, such as this, Sogdia Proper, that area, this here as well, and Fergana. Those are the areas that Sogdians traditionally lived, even though they mainly come from there. As the culture map mode tells you, of dominant culture, mainly Sogdian. Even Sogdians during their plight made their way up there. And this is Taiwan, different culture. different culture that lives there. And of course there's the Bactrians across the river, intermixed with Macedonians that were the previous administrators that were here. And Bukhara over there, which is held by Khwarezmians, part of the Sakha culture group. Bukhara is where modern-day Bukhara is today. So at that time it was just a small settlement, even though it was said that it was found around 500 BC. So one day we will get all of this. First, we need to, I know we're at war, so we cannot disband levies while at war because of the, the issue of, oh yeah, and we gotta disband those mercenaries once the movement is locked. Oh, let's sit there. Come with us. We gotta deal with that revolt. We can go there, but they're not gonna give us access, right? Oh, they will. Okay, thank you. Off you pop then. Go deal with that revolt. But there's a good chance the rebels will win and it's too late for us. But let's pass a day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I thought I was expecting something else. Okay. Now, anyways. There we go. The Sogdian Capital. Imagine these past few days that we're just, we're moving. Although fighting the Bactrians was no easy task, we were able to reclaim the provinces that literally carry the names of our forefathers, of our people. We must move down from the city in the mountains and take our rightful place in Samarqand, now renamed with the Sogdian name as everybody knows it today, Samarkand. So we will be spending 60 political influence just for moving from down the mountains into this here new capital. We will gain 2 free province investments. Our legitimacy will be back up 100% ever since we switched heirs. My popularity will be at the maximum. And I will gain 1 marshal and 1 zeal. But before we do that, it's an immediate effect. Just wondering if there's any decisions that relates to, hurting my popularity. Probably not, because that also costs stability. All of them cost stability. What the hell are you thinking? Also, you can lower that nonsense down. And, those mercenaries. We're gonna try to disband them. Because, we say, hey, thanks for your help. We're gonna try to, disband if we can. There's me. So get away from there. Get back to Samarkand. Ah, here it is, disband units. So, cancelling our deal with the mercenaries will make us lose 32,000. Yeah, that's from their men. Anyone else could now hire them. You came from Samarkand, so return. So that way we can get rid of that mercenary alliance for the military experience. Alright, boys and girls. New capital is here. Samarkand. Even the name itself is enough to conjure up images of extravagant wealth, of marketplaces filled with wonders scattered from the four corners of the earth, of an enlightened citizenry that is ruled by a wise and all-powerful ruler, one that could even be the descendant of some ancient god. While everyone knows that Samarqand is a city of vast potential, if Samtish has heard the whispers of their supposed divinity, there have been no efforts to quell these rumors. What I have accomplished for Sogdia has the touch of the divine upon it. But in actuality, it was luck that played a role for all of this. It was luck. So, Sogdiana is our new capital province. We need a governor of Bactriana. That's because Bactra is very important to us. If governor, local freeman output. You'll do. Plus you're a minor character based on that surname. So you'll do. Manpower, fort defense up. So here in Samarkand, the main source here is earthenware. So this is for the province. Besides the earthenware, we got livestock, furs, hemp, leather, stone, livestock, cloth, camels. Oh, 1 second. Since we moved capitals, does that mean? Yes, we have contact with the Seleucid Empire. It's just living out in the mountains that makes it too far away for diplomats to travel from one place to the other. But now that we are down here, now we can have dialogue. Because of being a major power and having that tech research. So the further the diplomatic range, the more, potential of trade, particularly with the Morians. Oh, and another thing. Obviously, very, very much. So again, we do not have. They may not like us very much because of aggressive expansion, which I'll aim to change that right now. So we'll be in a appeasing stance. Improve relation costs reduced. Well, you should have done it beforehand. But aggressive expansion decay to go down faster. And this will improve the opinions of allies and others of the diplomatic range, so we'll play nice this time. So if anybody wants to trade us with anything, may do so now. Oh, obviously, you gotta have the grain. Get it from the Morians so we can have trade relations. There's your monthly food modifier. We gotta import stone. Anybody got stone? Plenty of stone. Get it from the Morians as well. Reduce build cost so we can start building buildings. This is part of restoring the rock, which will take a year to complete. So it'll cost you 150 while some political influence. It's just going to keep going down no matter what. Or alternatively, you'll get some money in return. Since our move down south, we are doing everything that we can make Samarkand feel like home, with no expense being too great when it comes to beautifying our new capital city. We gotta have a commercial district, tax office building, a mill, and a forum. And there is room for all of that. We got aqueducts here. Commercial district. Here it is. One commercial district. Coming up. Okay, that's one. And what's the other? Tax office. Tax office here. And then the mill. And what's the fourth one? Forum. Forum. This is the forum. All in that order. And I'll be sure to build these libraries. That's very important to hear, since this is going to be new capital and people are going to be moving in. So get another building slot in. What else can we import? Step horses, of course. Get it down here. Just for population output. Oratory tech investment. Okay. I'm looking. Having another set of camels to give you camel discipline. We don't have more camels. Leather. Spearman defense. We don't have that much spearmen. Oh, in fact, we don't have any at all. Experience decay. And output. That'll do. Wine. Wine is something we ought to have. From Armenia. So I gotta get all this up. Meanwhile, we'll take the hit, so this will take about a year. Our forces have conquered the north of the Karakum Desert, bringing us close to the lands of the renowned Scythian peoples, giving a sense of energy that we feel. We should redouble our efforts to build a fortress in a strategic area around Kupier. If we have the will to do so, we could construct fortifications in half the time that would normally take. Man, stability is going to go down really fast. Yes, I know. There's actually another thing that I would want. A new port here. A little more expensive, but we'd need another place for our ships to sail down the Oxus and rest up here. What else? Alright, we are in possession of this wonder. Alexandria. So for the country as a whole, this makes the unintegrated culture happiness go up a bit. Maximum research efficiency up. And this province as a whole, more food. City is well built. Right. And got aqueducts. 3 aqueducts. But nothing else, nothing special. We'll keep these mountain fortresses up there, including Bactriana itself, which is obviously is going to be a very important city to us. But obviously we have more Sogdians living here now, as we are the majority again, population number wise. There's a whole lot of freemen here. mean, we're a major power now, so we should be good. The Taiwans aren't as numerous as they are now with the Bactrians, so... unintegrated Bactrian culture, unintegrated foreign culture, so Alexandria Ultra helps that a bit. So yes, we are the majority. We got a lot of work to do. It's a new month. Check a couple of things. My goodness, look at the income. Look at the income now. Make a lot more. And when maximum manpower is 10,000. Over 10,000. Almost 11,000. And we will gain 90 a month. And when the levies are disbanded, we'll gain even more. Again, all because we took possessions of these cities. Some smaller than others, but nevertheless, I'm very happy with this. Come on, now, let me work with me. Now, as the armies are going to go march up and deal with this revolt, which I believe it's too late now. Trade with us. We'll do great business together. Takes very long to get there. And having too many levies increases the war exhaustion, but it ups the military experience nonetheless. Get the other Sogdian city. This has a forum, but no library. Compare that to the other city libraries. Dominant culture's not integrated. Well, we aim to change that. No Zoroastrian, unfortunately, despite the fact that there is some population there, but I guess it's not significant enough. Compare that to Hellenic, which is most common, and ours, and the Heptatics. I guess the Zoroastrian is just too little, even though there is a decision to embrace Zoroastrianism. Which, one, you gotta have political influence back up again, and at least 50% of the free people has to, 50% of the free people of the territory follow that religion, which is going to be hard to convince. Actually, I have to change that policy here a bit. Why don't we just centralize this population? This is a new capital, and I want everybody to come here. So centralize it. Be sure for future reference, get farming settlements. We're gonna need that to sustain the growth. What's the other one? Get another one here. Again, we're looking to sustain the growth, because we're gonna have a bunch of people migrating here because I said so. The incoming migration you can see there. All Sogdians are different faiths and backgrounds. We're not looking to convert people here. Commercial district built. Our financial encouragement of local cults in the province of Sogdiana has led to the renovation of old shrines and construction of new. Delighting the gods delights the people. Since we're not expecting any opposition too much, they took control of it. What little remains? Actually, the Loyalists are going to win this battle. Loyalists win, so we're going to try to mop up. I'll probably have you dealt with in the future. Just till I connect the land, and maybe we'll get Kucha on becoming a feudatory, yes. Because we're so big now that I don't think Kucha is that much valuable of an ally anymore. So it would be better to have it as a feudatory. Yeah, we're just here. Says that's for... Ah, yes, I remember what that thing does. You have to do that at disloyal provinces. So it'll cost you. But you can't do that in Sogdiana because capital province is always loyal no matter what. But that's only if you're having issues. How are you doing, son? 15. You gained a bit. Lost a bit of finesse, but you'll do. But you've got the charisma to back it up for the popularity. Okay. So now. We need more wine. Because wine reduces the Legion maintenance cost. So thus we can afford them and make things cheaper. Yes. I don't suppose there's any wine that's been imported here locally, is there? No, you gotta get that from afar. And obviously since we got that off of Armenia, which means the nearest wine's over there. Actually, over there in Parthia, they got wine, but obviously it's a war zone still. No wine over there. Nope, just take what you can get, alright? Actually, war's finally over for Parthia. And now they're going to deal with the Seleucid revolt. And Typuria is at peace. We can offer alliance. They might be a useful lot. But the Seleucid Empire as a whole does not border with Bactria at the moment. We got our port here, so come on down. now we have the naval range for this. Get a little more money, then I'll consider it. But wait a few months. What are you up to? Oh yeah, I forgot, you're still at war with the Sogdian Revolt. Hey, if the Sogdian Revolt is lost, does that mean it's gonna go back to loyal control? Our presence in Eastern Iran has obviously not gone unnoticed by the locals, many of whom we had to evict from their homelands for us to secure the routes that trace along the southern shores of Iranese. Now that we've reached the mouth of the Oxus River, Sam Tish has wisely pressed to build a fortification in Skopje as quickly as possible, even sending 1,000 men from the training camps to the construction sites so that double shifts could be implemented. At this breakneck speed, we believe that we'll be able to build a fortress in half the time than it would take to build one, even if it ends up costing us a little bit extra. Believe me when I say that time is of the essence. So there goes some of that manpower now, but we'll be getting up there pretty quickly nowadays. We'll have this soon. "90 days complete." Okay, do this one. And then we'll get Sogdian Emporiums, which I don't know what that is. I had little prior research on this, but they say it's a character interaction, so we shall see soon. But given a name, knowing what the Sogs were like back in the day, they are a trade-intensive people as they always are. Ah, last one. Veteran warrior. Now, this is Veteran Warrior. Oh my goodness, that's +3 martial when you complete that. And if you are a commander of any army, you get discipline up. And if you are the ruler, morale of armies up. If you are a martial-oriented warrior king, this is for it. So the strategy focus will come off now, because now we're going to switch our focus to zeal. I shall go for divinity focus. And with that, since we've been spending quite a bit of money, melt down the idols. Long ago, the Sakids used to worship as we do, but they have been wooed by the strange gods of the foreigner and have embraced the Heptadic pantheon. Now, instead of praying to the endless sky, they bow before the statues of gold and silver that were crafted by the hands of men. We shall destroy these abominations and cleanse the land from the taint of idolatry. So we will gain 300 gold after we build down these idols. As we have continued to conquer the lands that the heathens have stolen from us, we've accumulated a great number of golden and silver statues idols that were taken from the blasphemous temples and shrines that we have found. After some brief debate by our religious leaders, it was finally decided that these statues should be melted down and made into coins, so that all our people could benefit from the spoils of war. The gods will be pleased by this showing, and so will our treasurers. And what do we do with that money? Get another farming settlement. More food is needed in order to keep up with the growth, because a lot of people are going to be coming to Samarqand, new capital, because I want them to come here. We have received word from our scribes that the claims we have prepared against the normal's territories of Bactriana be complete. All that remains for us to do is declare upon them. I appreciate you informing this, but we've already taken that. We have the stability for it, so... Now that we have secured a northern passage that is so vital to the trade routes, offering safe roads from Marianas to Lake Isabel, we can begin construct impressive marketplaces in true Sogdian style. This is why, this is who the Sogdians really are, instead of just being fierce, warlike people who are independent-minded. And we will get some political influence up. Good timing on this. When travelers pass through our lands and stay the night at one of our inns, many times drinks are shared and tongues loosened accordingly, with jovial conversation and a crackling fire being companions that will stay up with you the entire night, if you so desire. It is thus very amusing to us that we hear that our reputation as Sogdians seems to be a nebulous one in the faraway cities. Folks say that we are known as mysterious traders, purveyors of the finest goods in the world, maybe, but not much else known about us. Still, even though we are believed to love money above all else, we are viewed as a favored people, always happy to welcome the foreigner to one of our many markets, the likes of which to have to be seen to be believed. Merchants will travel the entire world over just to visit one of the legendary Sogdian emporiums, for there are no other markets that can compare with the amount of rare goods that are found in one place. We welcome everyone to come and see for ourselves. So now you'll have access to the unique character interaction that will allow the current ruler of Sogdia to build a Sogdian emporium. Now, what is the Sogdian Emporium, you ask? Well, let's have a look. Well, first, you need the money for that. And a political influence, which is not there. So, just wait a few. So, Sogdian Emporiums are a special type of marketplace that can only be built with this interaction. And it can only be taken every 10 years. So basically, every ruler. But as he's still in good health, he can afford it. Don't want to rush it right away. But apparently I did not gain that political influence as the thing said. But, well, what can you do? Wait a few. And plus there's a few other things. Anything that doesn't cost us political influence would be nice. Oh, this one. We can do that one first. Aha. We'll just keep on building then. Have they reached to the area? Hold it there. Let's kill him first. His civic capacity informs us that an opportunity has arisen. One of our most valued temples is in dire need of renovation. With enough investment, the building could become a shining beacon of benevolence and architectural prowess. Sure, this opportunity is too great to miss. That's a lot of gold that you want me to spend. Not to us, but where? None. Mato. Spot. That is over there. Oh, the little city. The little city that is insignificant because it's got mountains and frigid climate. But Sogdian Zoroastrians live here. So, you'll have a renovated temple. You got it. Place the funds. So good deeds do not go unforgotten by local populace. Obviously due to the lack of population here. You got a granary, right? No, you don't. No wonder why you keep having these food shortages. First off, build one here. Let's kill them all. So we can end this faster so we can go home. And go help them liberate. And after we owe them, then we'll try to offer them, like, would you like to be the feudatory? I may offer the same hand to extend it to Khotan as a client state, but that's a bit far-fetched. Eek. But a small vessel can hurt. As long as we keep the thing stable, everything will be good. Because of that high aggressive expansion that we have nowadays. Won't matter. I'm trying to take advantage of the situation. Yeah, we'll handle it. You can go back to your place. Ah, wretch. You are third-born. You are a pious. But you're also abrasive, which is... if subjects' opinion of us, I mean, you gotta be nice to them when you become ruler. But he's steadfast, so he's a bit contradictory on the loyalty thing. But steadfast, heavy infantry and war elephant discipline on. So he's definitely a military man. The one exactly we need. He is just what this country needs. Provoking. Buzz? Are you talking about Buzz, the General? General Buzz? No, that's Buzz. Very different Buzz. more exhaustion is going to keep going up because we still have our levies up. It is done. Not that one. This way. Get that down, then that's it. A true hole. So now we have all the buildings that will make Samarkand great again. And now we will gain 50 gold out of this. And my popularity is still at the max. And 2 citizens and 2 free populations will move in of the state, culture, and religion, as we're Sogdian and ritualistic. Our people have taken vast strides into making our new capital, Samarkand, feel like a place that is destined to become, with public projects transforming the battle-scarred site into something that our people can truly be proud of. We might not have all the amenities that the established cities of the world might have, but we are quickly catching up to them, with our goals surpassing everyone around us on something that we can hopefully attain. We shall accept nothing besides eternal glory. So there you go. We got room for another building. Get a granary. You can't have a lot of granaries. Because, you know, that's important. All the more reasons why we have to build farming settlements, because we're trying to keep up with the growth. And when the population keeps on growing, then we'll build a fortress here. Which will take longer. We're already on our way, dummy. Step aside. We'll have this war be over, then our levies can go home and our manpower can start going up. Statue of Semtish. People of Kashgar has raised a large statue of our esteemed ruler, though the statue is lacking in certain important areas. It would not be taken away if we were to rip it down. If we leave the statue up, let us hope it does not get too well known. This could be somewhat of an insult to the monarch. We are grateful for this honor in this nation. I'll take the hit. This takes a year. This will take 90 days. This will take 90 days. Yes, I got all of that. 30. Okay, go for this. Slowly by degrees, the rich hardlands of Bactriana open up themselves to us. Though the battle for Alexandria, which will be fierce, we could console ourselves in taking the natural resources in the region when the war is completed, even though it's already been done. See you in the 90 days. Don't spend anything. It is won. Bactrian revolt is over. The Kuchin revolt is over. Let's do that a little later. There. Now we can disband the levies and all that military experience that you all accumulated. And we can enlarge our legion to a much bigger size, which we need a lot of manpower and a lot of money for this. So now head to Samarkand. Triumph of 3 cities. 3 cities. Because Samtish led us. Actually, hold on. A conqueror trait. That's something we gotta look at. Conqueror trait. I'm sure there's other peoples out there who call themselves conquerors. Still dealing with that mess. Vault is still winning because it still exists. I don't suppose you know anyone who calls themselves conquerors, do they? Like, why don't you look at those who may be connected? Or better yet, go further back. No family, I guess that means it just doesn't exist anymore. I'll figure it out myself. Also, we haven't had a look on Europe for a while. Rome's still expanding, though not as aggressive as, you know, as the vanilla version of the game typically has, because the Rome AI is super aggressive on their expansion. But in this Overhaul mod, they're actually toned it down a little to try to expand more into, you know, to simulate how their expansion was like most of the time. Client state of Rome, I see. About why is that split up like that? It's just, no, it's a client state, they're together. Ashoka Moria is still around. Isn't Chandragupta the conqueror? No, he wasn't. He was victorious. Maybe the conqueror is just a popularity thing. Maybe that's what that is. But until then, just wait for this to pass while we try to get everybody home and perhaps expand our army. Because our manpower gain is much more now. Oh, the old governor of Himalaya, we thank you for your service. 38. He was a kid and a member of my family. But I think we would rely on people with higher finesse. That should be fine. And also not corrupt, that's the most important thing. And loyal. Hey, would you like to be a feudatory? If not, we'll improve relations for you. That's an idea. Make them a feudatory. Let me see. Raiding Oxiana. The Bactrian cities that gather around the Oxus River are a tempting prize that Samtish has been unable to ignore. Now we find ourselves publicly claiming their lands and set up our soldiers on a war footing, even though we have repeatedly clashed with the Bactrians and know them to be fierce foes. Our destinies seem to be intertwined. For better or worse, the gods have seen it fit that our sons take up arms against them once again. We played that this conflict is a short one. And it was. So it was. Battle for Bactria. Which, again, we've already took care of that, but now we can get claims for Bactria Proper and Sogdiana. Those two. For future conflicts. Whenever we fight them again. Which, of course, our treaty with them will not expire until 492. I mean, if the Seleucid revolt still exists, we can definitely take advantage of this. But of course, you still gotta, you know, take possession of this important city from Taipuria. And they are of Bactrian culture group. If we ever get together, then maybe we'll be good friends. But of course, you'll be in the way too, because actually no, it's not part of it. Okay, this will cost you, this doesn't. And this will take about a year to complete, so I'll be willing to take that time. Once, our country owed fealty to the satraps ruling from Bactria, and we were forced to send notice tributes to leaders that never spared a second thought for our people. These days are a distant memory. However, as our armies gather outside the region of Bactriana, we can hardly believe that we're about to invade our former masters. Once the province of Kandara is ours, the rest of the country should soon succumb to our gradual advances. And although we have done that as well, but not the rest. Okay, I found a trait, so I'm looking up Conqueror. Like, what does that do? What does it do for me? Is it military related? Just personality? What? What took you? Military traits. Okay, found it. That's for, well, Senate influence. Traction is there. Monthly public conviction. I mean, that's Republic stuff. But it also adds the subject opinion of us up a bit. And as well as the assault ability up. That's what that does. Okay, I understand. In which I was thinking, maybe he should have it, but, maybe. I mean, it'll just give you some free political influence, but Apollo kept his nickname. I could see that giving it to his successor, just to, you know, have bragging rights. Okay, food situation here is still going down. But not as bad as you may think. But I guess that usually happens when it's winter time. As it is winter now, but when that goes away, maybe it will improve. Just wait. It's March now. Winter hasn't gone away. Spring is here. Okay, wait till April then. Okay, actually you do gain food, so it's just a fact of life, alright? We live in a frigid climate. It's just a fact of life, nothing you can do about it. Gee, we found someone better. Now give me a moment, I'll find a place for you. I mean, it's our family, you know. Hey, I got something for you. Give me a moment. Go to the Legion. That's a minor character. Replace that with my son here. He can take part. Yeah, I got it. Okay, since we're at peace here, how about you lead this army? And when you get home, Samarqand, I want you to drill those troops. Even though there's a chance that the cohorts will be loyal to him. The more they'll be loyal, the more power base he has, and increases popularity. Smart, you see. He's a healthy man. See? I'm trying to be smart here. So we got all the farming settlements made, so we're getting a lot of food. But food only goes down when it's winter, which is something that we can't, you know, can't handle too much. That's going to be the way it is. A lot of people migrating here. Lots of them. A lot of Sogdians moving in. Just as I requested. Citizens of territory have been feuding with their neighbors in Alexandria. As a result, an impressive fortified wall has been erected there, cried out during the efforts of their arrival. As I say, conflict drives innovation. Now, where's that? Oh, up there. That's city. Oh, that'll make him disloyal if you do that. And he is the governor. No, let him continue. More fortifications for us. It'll do him good. We need libraries. That's another thing about that. But if I were you, I would rather build fortresses up in these mountain passes. Just like the old Sogdian rock back in the day. And don't forget, when the population keeps going up here, build a fortress next. Almost a feudatory. So that way we can... Wait, what are you doing? What? Yeah, Earth. I understand you want this piece of land here. But you're still going to be local power nonetheless, and you're still going to come in as a feudatory, whether you like it or not. Bactria, our bitter foe, is a land of long and storied history. These hills and valleys are the places that Zoroaster himself walked through, literally a country where religions have been born. And now the armies of Sogdia stand on the banks of the Oxus River and ready to enter the heartlands of Bactria herself, with even the capital of Bactria being the target for our roving forces, though no one knows the outcome of the battles ahead of us. And we must all acknowledge the road that's brought us to the pivotal moment in our histories. The gods are capricious, giving freely and taking away just as quickly. But now this opens up two optional, but they're not really part of the major goal. which you can have a claim on either of them if you wish. One is to, you know, declare war on Moria, which is very suicidal to do that. Or go to war against the Seleucids, which is just as, if not more. These are two Imperial challenge wars, where you get a claim on Glasse, which is over there. That is where Taxila is. Taxila. That's for research, because it's a university. And the other one, that's just a war with the Seleucids for... Which province are they talking about? Here. You know, that's kind of far away from us. So, we don't... Oh, I didn't know there was a Seleucid revolt over there as well. In Syria. Somehow they've taken it. And it is their provincial capital there. Are they part of this? Client status Seleucid revolt. Oh. So they pulled a big trick there. Because, actually, they've been with them for some time, I believe, when we've negotiated them. They were with them the whole time. So these are Assyrians taking advantage of the situation. So this is going to prolong the revolts now that they take care of that. And now the Seleucids have penetrated into Bactrian territory now. Whenever the civil war ends, I fear that this is going to become Seleucid territory, which is something that I would not want to see. Something that I would not want to see out there. But, again, you need these two cities. One from Tapuria and another from Parthia. Which I guess Parthia is probably weak enough for us to take them on without any worry. Because we know the exact tactics of how to deal with these beasts. Even though some of the objective is a bit off because actually we may not. Actually. Okay, we'll spend this a bit. News from the border fortress at Kupi. The Scythians are unhappy of our presence in the region, and they've been sending raiding parties across the board daily to harass our garrison. Though the city of Magna is a far ride from our capital, we must send soldiers to the region to pacify them. So obviously, once we get that, then and then we turn our attention to there, which we have claims for, but we don't need to take all of it. Like, we'll probably have to fight against the Parthians for this bit here. And then, after you get that, and if we take Amo, and then somehow get into contact with Tapuria, even though we may have to fight Bactria, subsequently. Bactria and Tapuria. Defensive League of Parthia. Okay, if you attack them, then Parthia attacks you. Okay, I understand that. But we can have an alliance, and obviously we cannot make a feudatory, but you have to be bordered with them, obviously. I mean, if we had them as a feudatory, then excellent. Then we'll figure out ways to integrate them and all that. Welcome to the realm of geopolitics. They'd be willing to make an alliance with us, but we gotta improve relations with them as well, as we're still trying to lower the aggressive expansion in the meantime. Currently in progress. So don't do these two options. get these two down. Keep it up. We're having good stability despite all this. Right, now that you're here, drill. You'll get your lower cohorts in future. Not to mention it keeps it up on our toes until we get our manpower up faster and faster, and we will expand the army. Scythia Magna. Scythia Magna is quite far from where our centers of administrative power are located, but the geographical distance from our traditional homeland does not preclude our necessity for controlling the area. We do not seek outright annexation of the entire region, but our military advisors want us to extend our hegemony to the waters of the Lake Sargamish in the south at the minimum, something that our soldiers are happy to do. There is no other alternative besides war. It has come to us again. But fortunately for us, we don't need to do that, as our political interest compels us to conquer large swaths of territory, especially in the regions that have rivers like the Oxus traveling through them. We cannot allow anyone else to control these economic highways, so we must prepare our claims and guard ourselves for battle. So we'll spend our money and political influence once again to get claims on Chorasmia and Comaria, especially Comaria, because the city of Amu is there. That's one of the real objectives. We'll see in a year. Age finds us all in the end. Even the priests and surgeons shake their heads when confronted with the inevitable decline of the human body, as Samtish is finding out. He may not have much time left. How sad. He's got diphtheria, a horrible infection, presenting unusual lessons, throat symptoms, and malaise. He's 68, and it was only a matter of time. He may be a young man, but hopefully he's ready. Because popularity may not be the best, but we'll make do for him. But we'll continue to get the manpower reserves up faster and faster, and then we'll increase the size of the Legion of Sogdiana. Provide them with more units that they need. Just this once, since peacetime. Add a little bit of civilization. Help Samarqand with it. That's monthly. Keep that well in mind. Okay, we have improved our relations with Moria all the way. Of course, we're not trying to ally with them. That's impossible because we're a competing power. And he's already got friends of his own. Is Ashok. While getting Khotan on our side would also be good. So we can have an alliance and then subsequently use that to make them a client state. Surprised you haven't called for us yet. I'd love to spend money on buildings, but they're being spent on missions now. Sogdian has been showing great promise in his civic duties, has become renowned as quite the artisan. He's recently completed a marvelous design for a new fortress. We could erect this masterpiece on behalf of the state. However, such architectural vision would surely be valued with the right investor. Tobe? No. Our coffers are looking bare. We got more gold. Just what we need. Winding down the Oxus. The Oxus River is the lifeblood of the Khwarezmian territories, allowing locals to pursue all sorts of agricultural interests in the plains that lie alongside the river. In addition to growing important crops like vegetables and hemp, one will find horses and a wide variety of draft animals being raised alongside the banks of the gently flowing waters. Administering this region for ourselves will bring us vast economic windfalls, as strengthening our overall military security. We desire these things, as well as the western entrance into Bactria. So, for future reference, war against Parthia for Comaria, and it shouldn't be too hard. Because if you want to get this, the city there, though small, is the important objective. And also get that little thing, which is only a settlement from Taipuria, that we gotta get in touch with them somehow. But we can't go to war right now, although even though we have territories that claim where you don't get that much aggressive expansion, which would be most ideal. It'll be 61. Or do you want more gold? Even more. Yeah, I could use some. We're waiting for it to reach the next pop, then we'll build a fortress here. But in the meantime, let's have us some libraries. Libraries for everybody. They already got one. They don't. They got one. They don't. Oh yeah, I forgot. A port here. So that way, it's like, there you go. Now you got a port in the Oxus, in the Aral Sea, and in Jaxartes. Just as what we wanted. So, libraries for everybody. Now you need 150 gold, which will take you about a year, and 30 political influence to be spent. The ancient fortress known as the Sogdian Rock was once thought to be impregnable. This was before the barbarian Alexander shattered that illusion by taking it from us so many years ago. Now that we restored Samarqand to its rightful owners, we should do everything in our power to rebuild the rock. So this will take a year, as we are importing stone here, and Samarkand will have the permanent effect of Sogdian Rock, which will up the local fort defense plus 30, hostile attrition if anybody tries to dare step foot in our capital, they'll take the attrition, and fort infrastructure capacity up, which can improve things when you build another level of fortress here. So let's get to it. And this will be one of the last acts we'll do for this episode. Again, I cannot wait to expand and improve the army as my health slowly withers away. Nobody gains a free province mission? Who's nobody? It'll become Sogdia in a moment. Maybe that's going to be... I'll try to get it as the last thing before I die. So don't spend anything. We're going to spend it on improving fortifications here in Samarqand. I may have to move a population to here in just a moment. Iranian Civil War finally ends. Looking at you over there. Near Casa. Hey, you Bactrians? Second. Hey. Maybe we should be friends. Because, you know, next door neighbor. I mean, I don't have any allies except Kucha. But don't rush things here. Alright, libraries for everybody. And in future, we'll build a library here in Samarkand. When the population growth becomes sustainable. Also, we do have a port in Alexandria, Scotland now. Tespa prospers. The little city. The council there sent an envoy proclaiming that harvests, trade, taxation have all produced large surplus this year. In a splendid show of national spirit, they decided to offer additional income to the state. Perhaps we could let them spend the money for their own use, however. Well, build it any way you want it. Don't patronize me. So, ask the residents what they want. And they get a library. Haha. More libraries in demand. They knew that. So those citizens, one would think, is it's like, hey, the king is building these libraries, so why don't we just build libraries too? Yeah. 70 years old. Balding now. And I'm about to get this. Look at it a moment. So, let's see. We have 2 remaining. And, so, Bactra, the area down there, patronized temples. Up is the local tax for the next 5 years. And stay religion, happiness there. But it says nobody. Let me see. It says 3 remaining. Okay, nobody is me. Good. But you know what? Go for it again. This is a free investment. We need to build a fortress here. Very happy with the manpower gain. Used to be 40 something, but now 113 each month. 13,000 is the max, but terrible fever of 71. He was the governor, a friend of the governor, Lagat. One of the founding fathers of this army, this humble army, will soon be great. One of our researchers, Chusek, thinks just about to make a notable scientific breakthrough in the research he's currently working on. All that is needed is some supplies and funds for the next couple of years. To be able to get his hands on some of these, first they ask our king, our ailing king, if he could be given access to them. The rest of our researchers would certainly suffer were to make this move. maybe it's worth after all. Why the hell not? I'm dying anyway. Whatever corruption I get matters little. He'll get everything he needs. Choose wisely. I'd like to have this in future. To free manpower, which would be useful if we were expanding our army right about now, but that stuff that you did over there. Other alternatives. Capital import routes. Free province investment. Another capital import. And also reinforcement speed, and eventually get to more discipline in future. Unless you want to go the other way and be more cavalry intensive. That also adds even more discipline. It's just, I don't know, I'm kind of undecided. I'll probably think about it in the next episode. Another one. Very corrupt, because he's deceitful, you see. Corrupt researchers built character. But if I had my druthers, I would rather wait. Like, we'll fight against Parthia for this, to get Amo. And then eventually gotta get to Puri, and what the hell is Seleucus doing? Remember, there's a bit of that. Bandia. That's their new capital, but they have no way of getting around it unless the Parthians have to give military access to them. But since they had a war recently, that won't happen anytime soon. I just noticed that there's a civil war over there. There's going to be a civil war. Keep an eye on it. We might take advantage of the situation. If, well, who are the disloyal characters? But first, restoring the rock. It is a story known to all of our people that one brings us endless shame. How Alexander and his scheming soldiers scaled the fortress known as the Sogdian Rock and tricked our panicked soldiers into surrendering en masse after they were caught unawares. It was this calamity that led to our precipitous demise. For once we lost the anchor that was holding our people together, morale plummeted, and the gods abandoned us. For we suffered a humiliating defeat after defeat. But now we have a chance to make up for our ancient mistakes, where we now have taken the broken bones of the Sogdian Rock and rebuilt it into the fortress that it used to be. Let everyone see this as a symbol of our return. As a monument to our future ambitions, Sogdia will avenge the crimes of the past and ascend to heights never before dreamed of. Let us all acknowledge the blessings that the gods have given us. 4 health now. Seeking a spouse. I could intervene with that, but if you are going to get married, you probably need one that would... there's a lot of choice, but not right now. Let me look at this thing I was concerned about. Who are the disloyal characters? This man is the governor of Parthia. Okay, that's going to be the place where the civil war is going to break out. He's the Mog. And this one. Especially that one's Pretender. So, it's going to be down there in Parthia is where war breaks out. And the province that he comes from. Scythia is where he's from. He's got his governor of Sogdiana. Maybe we will take advantage of that situation, but we have our ports now, so if I were you, go to Alexandria Scotta. Or, I was about to say, which way is faster, because, you know, our fortress is going to be part of it while they're going to be busy, so I don't know. I do not know. But I do know this. Civil war is likely over there in a few months. I'm saving that conqueror trait for my son, knowing he's going to carry on my legacy. All he needs to do is take a move and figure out a way to get Overhaul from Taipuria, which we can make an alliance with, and maybe eventually we'll become close enough to say, hey, want to be feudatory? And we can use that feudatory. But it does say, or their subject. That's the other option. And then we completed a major goal of this series. And our truce with Bactria is about to expire, and the Seleucid revolt is still ongoing, so there's your other option. Conquer more of Bactria. Because it seems the Seleucid army down there is probably stranded. Now, let us rebuild our own Sogdian rock. And this will take a long time, as this will take about 2 years. So consider this as a preparation of a new conflict, which will occur in the next episode, which will end this episode soon. Because it seems we have ran out. Oh, and the Sogdian Emporium thing? Well, I don't have the political influence right now, nor the money, but looks like my son will have the honor to do that when that time comes. No, you can't pick that through him. While he's looking to get a spouse for himself. I doubt he'll find a good match when he looks for on his own. You gotta do it when you're the ruler. How you doing with that? Okay, here we go. Feudatory. I know you only get 1 manpower out of them because it's a small area, but it can be made an integral part of Sogdia sometime in the future. And the other alternative is client state, which it does the same thing, but let me see. Uses 1 diplomatic slot to maintain in this relation. Actually, in this mod, having a client state does not take up diplomatic relations anymore. And I would consider that this money that Kucha would give us is considered chump change to us. I'm sure we'll deal with them in a small war in the future. But for now, you're going to be a feudatory to us. You're going to join us in our wars. So there you go. That frees us up. Now, how'd you like to join us? Okay. And is willing to become a client state. Excellent. Chuma. This is from Sumpa, one of the Tibetan powers. of the Bund. They deified this old man. Who knows if one day if I'll be deified, since I'm the restorer of Sogdia. You want to be a client state. That's excellent. That's beautiful. So you'll pay us a little more. And we'll make you an integrated part of Sogdia in future. And you will join our wars as well. How about you over there? Hell, I think this is how we're gonna do that. To unite the Terran base. Yes, we fought each other a few times in the past, but I could make you a client state as well. I mean, I'll make everybody a client state. That's what you gotta do. Have an alliance, and it says, hey, join us. Join Sogdia in our wars and pay us, and then one day you'll be part of our expanding realm. I could do the same for them. Actually, they're likely. Okay. You got a deal. So we're gonna get everybody together and then befriend everybody. With the exception of Casa, because no, the Morians do not have a cast spell against them. Do not worry. Part of Malia still. No civil war, it's been averted. Damn. They do have one ship in their possession, but that's not going to deter us. So, we were thinking about preparing for war, but instead, what we're doing now is let's unite the Terran Basin to make everybody be a client state. But I doubt we could do the same over there. We can make an alliance, we can improve relations, which we might as well do that now. Although it's a bit further away from here for various reasons, but if we can get them as a client state, excellent, and this will complete our mission after we fight against Parthia. And then fight Bactriana whenever we want. This is what has come at this point for this part of the series. The reason why we expanded is because of luck and good tactics. News has reached us by word of mouth. Once powerful Nurian has fallen to eternal bickering, strife, and wanton power struggles. Numerous chiefdoms have risen from the ashes of the crisis, perhaps affording an opportunity to their watchful neighbors. The Nurians still retain nominal leadership of their desperate clans, desperately clinging on to their laughable hegemony. That's a Balto-Slavic power over there. Barbarians. Yeah, Balto-Slavics, that's a thing in this mod. They added that as a culture group. For you Slavic viewers, I know there are many that watched my channel, mainly from Bosnia and Herzegovina when I did the old Bosnian series and all that. So yeah, they're Slavs, Balto-Slavs to be exact, out there. In ancient times, mind you. So, no need to rush to start another war. We're going to improve relations with everybody as we're still in an appeasing stance. Lower the aggressive expansion as much as you can, and then we'll get together. Overflowing granaries. Samtish, the harvests are so plentiful this year that we've run out of room to store our wheat. The granaries we built near Samarkand are packed to bursting. There's simply no room left for what we have on hand. We just have to sell the excess and market. We are glad that we are not wanting food. The people should rejoice. Back up to 60. We can lower the fort maintenance to get even more income. And I'm still kind of divided on which of the innovations I should get. That's why I don't want to rush things. It's poor health, but it doesn't say... Okay, now it says very poor health. More stability. Isn't there a technology oratory? Look for the ones that has improved relations. Diplomatic reputation is one. So did you get a spouse? Oh, okay then, who'd you marry? Young woman. High zeal. I don't know if that's a good match for you. She seems harsh and self-controlled. If I were you, I mean, I could do that. Ooh. That's quite a lot of tyranny for doing that. There are ways, you know. You need to find a better spouse for it. I should have given him. If there's one regret that I have in this whole life, is that I should have gotten my son a proper wife. The one to make up for the skills that he lacks, which could be problematic in the long run. Granaries raided. That's over in Shaw. We'll cover the costs. Again, we're trying to improve relations. Actually, it's better to make them feudatory, but we need to first have an alliance, and then we gotta befriend the king himself, and then feudatory. Then fight a war against Parthia, and then we'll be grand. And then we completed the major goal of this series. Somehow the Seleucid revolt is still alive out there, and they have expanded much further, and it's gone deeper into the heartlands. In fact, capital here. As long as they exist, we can declare war against Bactriana at any time. I mean, sure, they'll bring their few friends along. Parthia. The Parthia? No, old Parthia. You know, the Parthia that doesn't exist anymore? There was a civil war in Thrace? I didn't know that. Okay, got a new military tradition here. Another thing we've been waiting for. Expert forgers. In extreme environments, unique skills develop. Here, people never forgot how to feed themselves from the wild nature alone. So this ups the supply limit. Hostile attrition is up. And light infantry defense up, as we do have plenty of light infantry. And so next time we will... That's tempting. 3 more innovations since we lack of that. And of course there's Sogdian Rock again for 3 province investments to up the fort defense even more. This is what I mean by we are not only going to be an economically intensive nation, but also a defensive intensive nation that in future wars, especially against larger empires like the Seleucids and the Mauryans, when it comes to fighting in defense, we excel at it. Along with the little friends that we will get from in future. But these two will be the focus from now. Okay, they don't like us because of the aggressive expansion. We're trying to change that. We're trying to tone that down. As I await for my passing. Keep getting your popularity up, son. You'll need it. And you're roughly the same age, roughly around the age when I started becoming king. So you're of the right age for it. We're getting closer to the maximum, in which in the next episode we will expand the Legion here. That's what we're going to be saving up our money for. We're going to expand our royal army, and they will be dead set to take on the Parthians. And at the same time, get the aggressive expansion down much, much further. And then, again, I'm at a bit of a loss of words here. And once it gets down to 0, then we're going to start making these smaller states our friends. The old vassal swarm tactic comes to mind. And we gotta get Puria on our side. For the stability. In fact, we gotta keep the stability way, way up. So that way, when he becomes king, it'll be a much stable realm. And also, we gotta expand the navy. That's another thing we have to keep in mind for future efforts. Because we can't transport all the cohorts. It'll be too large by then. Nodding my head. Relations over diplomatic limit. That client state does take it up. I thought it wouldn't. Or is that the... No, that's... Or is it the military access? I don't know. It's one of those things that may become an issue at a later time. Never seen these features before regarding subjects. It'll cost you political influence to do that. National interactions. Fortress is built. Interesting. Just never seen all of these before. So there, now our capital is ready to be defended itself. Oh, and get a library, the most important building of the entire country. So everybody needs one. Oh, Burrs is a pretender. You know, one of our, you know, great soldiers. Oh, where is it? Here it is. The Tribune, yes. He's got a low power base, so he's not that dangerous. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end the episode on that note. Because Samtish died from natural causes at the age of 73. He was the king of restored and stronger Sogdia. And he was the family head, of course. And so the legitimacy didn't go as smooth as we have hoped, but That's what happens when you have such changes. So, guess he'll be back in charge, even though he's a bit lax but forgiving, so keep your eye on him. He might become a problem in the future, even though you just gave him that slow army. He's part of that family, you know. That's a minor character. Yeah. Who's got too much? Damn. He'll do. You know, he's got a bit of corruption to his name. Choose X1 is a good man. Maybe I'll bribe you. Maybe we'll befriend you. We got so many things now. Khotan, client state. And when is the time to integrate? You won't do that until 10 years. Okay. That's how it works, just like in a uniform. So now, we'll end the episode on that note. 22 years old. He's abrasive, but steadfast. Won't get as much national tax as we used to. But now you've got a spouse who's very good at zeal, but his finesse is sorely lacking. And we need to up the legitimacy a bit. There are ways to do so. Because the lowered legitimacy and the power base of the supporters is going to be a big problem. Otherwise, we may have a civil war in our hands. But it's 8 out of 20, so nothing to worry yet. But it's something that should be noted. And so, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end the episode here. So in the next episode, we will expand the army. You know, now it's led by a disloyal man. And he's going to be a problem if we don't get him back on our side. And also at the same time, we will continue to improve relations with Taipuria. And then after that, we'll get an alliance with them. And after that alliance, we'll see too if we can get them to become a feudatory. Because that's the most important thing. The opinion must be at least 100. We're quite far from it. Though there are other ways. Yes. So we hope you people have enjoyed this episode, as we still got a lot more work to do. But I'm very happy with how this series has turned out. It was they say the difficulty of doing this Sogdian playthrough was very hard, and look where we are now. And now we're making subjects, feudatories. I could see why he was a client state, not the right culture. But these Tokharians, these are of the Bactrian culture, and feudatory is optional. They don't take up relations, so we'll continue to improve relations with everybody we see and make feudatories out of them, just to strengthen ourselves and all that. Then we'll see you in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.